She bought the house for the staircase. Grand, spiraled, rising like sculpture right in the center of the home. It was the first thing you saw when you walked in, elegant, open, impressive. The kind of staircase you'd find in dream homes, Pinterest boards, and luxury catalogs. But 5 years later, she couldn't explain why everything felt stuck. The house was beautiful, yes. The income was good. The kids were healthy. But money slipped through her fingers like water. Business deals collapsed at the last minute. Sudden repairs, legal fees, and an ever-present tension in the air, arguments over small things, restless sleep, that eerie feeling something just wasn't right. Until one afternoon, standing halfway up those very stairs, it hit her. What if the problem wasn't what's happening in life, but how energy moves through this space? Here's the truth most homeowners don't realize. A staircase is not just a structure. It's the energy highway of your home. And if you get the design wrong, if the direction is off, the steps are miscounted, or the flow is broken, you could be unknowingly pushing prosperity, peace, and clarity right out of your life. Every single day. The worst part? Most of the time it looks perfectly fine. That's why it's so dangerous. In this video, we're going to show you exactly how your staircase may be shaping your fortune without you knowing it. We'll break down the most common layout mistakes, reveal the ancient design rule that still governs energy today, and give you real solutions that don't require tearing your house apart. Just small shifts that could change everything. So before you take another step upstairs, ask yourself this: is your staircase quietly pulling your future down? Number 1. Spiral staircase in the center, the spinning heart of chaos. There's a reason luxury real estate listings highlight spiral staircases in the center of the home. They're striking, sculptural, a statement. In high-end homes from California to Florida, from Texas to the Hamptons, a center-placed spiral staircase is seen as elegance and sophistication. But what if that design is quietly working against you? What if placing a spiral staircase at the heart of your home is like placing a spinning blade in the middle of your energy field? Because that's exactly what it does. A spiral staircase creates motion by design. It twists, it turns, it draws the eye upward. It also pulls energy into a vortex, spinning it continuously with no place to land. Now imagine placing that vortex right in the center of your home. That central spot, often called the heart of the house, is where energy is supposed to settle, stabilize, and support everyone who lives there. It's like the core of the human body. It should be still, quiet, grounded. But a spiral staircase doesn't allow that. Instead, it creates constant motion in a space that's meant to be calm. This misalignment creates real-life side effects: restlessness, miscommunication, fatigue, even career instability. You may notice arguments erupting over small issues, a general lack of focus, or recurring money problems that seem to come out of nowhere. And because the staircase looks beautiful, no one thinks to question it. We worked with a family outside Denver, a young couple with 2 kids, both professionals in their 40s. They'd lived in their custom-built home for 4 years. Everything looked perfect. A dramatic spiral staircase rising through all 3 levels, right in the center of the house. But things kept going wrong. The husband's job performance dropped, and he couldn't explain why. He was forgetting things, second-guessing decisions, even missing meetings he'd scheduled himself. Their youngest developed sleep issues. The wife reported a constant feeling of being on edge, even though she couldn't identify any real stressors. Finances were inconsistent, projects stalled. They were doing everything right, working hard, parenting well, staying organized. But the house never felt like it supported them. When we mapped the energy flow, the problem was obvious. That central spiral staircase was disrupting the home's core. It was spinning the families, grounding energy out in all directions, leaving them unstable, mentally, emotionally, and financially. This isn't superstition, it's spatial psychology. Just as an open-concept kitchen encourages conversation, just as a bedroom next to a loud laundry room disrupts rest, the placement and shape of a staircase influence how you feel, think, and move through life. The spiral staircase in the center doesn't just twist air, it twists energy. Imagine trying to sleep in a room where a ceiling fan is constantly spinning directly above your head. You might not see it, but your nervous system feels it. That's what a central spiral staircase does to your entire home. It keeps everything in motion, and not the good kind, not the flow state kind, the anxious, restless, never settled kind. The effects are even more intense when the staircase has no handrail, just open space and minimalistic steps floating in the air. While it might be visually stunning, it removes the sense of security and direction. Your body even unconsciously craves safety cues. A central spiral without boundaries leaves no clear path upward. And what does that teach your subconscious over time? That moving forward is unsteady, that life has no anchor, that you're spinning, not ascending. But here's the real risk. Over time, this kind of staircase doesn't just disrupt your space. It begins to shape your mindset. The family in Denver didn't need therapy or time off. They needed to ground their home. We added warm upward lighting at the base of the staircase. We placed a tall plant just off-center to redirect the spin. We added a crystal ball suspended from the ceiling. Yes, a Feng Shui tool, but one that diffuses chaotic motion into calm flow. Within 6 weeks, the father reported clarity returning at work. The children began sleeping better. The wife said, "The house finally feels like it's breathing right." Now you might be thinking, I already have a spiral staircase in the center. I can't remodel my house. And you don't have to. This isn't about demolition, it's about direction. Spiral staircases will always create motion, but you can choose how that motion impacts your life. The goal is to soften, ground, and redirect the spin. Add visual breaks, like curved artwork, gentle lighting, or fabric panels. Install a railing, even a decorative one. Place a heavy object, a ceramic vase, a tall tree, at the base to act as an energetic anchor. And never leave the central space entirely bare. Open space seems elegant, but energetically it's like a vacuum. It pulls instead of supports. American homes are built for visual impact, but visual beauty without energetic balance leads to exhaustion. We've seen it again and again. High-achieving families living in picture-perfect houses, but constantly battling invisible stress. If you've been feeling drained, scattered, or disconnected in your own home, don't just look at your calendar or your job. Look at your stairs. Look at what's moving in the heart of your space. Because motion without direction creates chaos. And when chaos lives in your center, everything else becomes harder. Money, clarity, peace. So here's the question. What is your staircase doing to the energy of your life? Is it guiding you upward or spinning your future out of reach? Number 2. Stairs facing the front door, luck comes in, then rushes right out. Walk into a house where the front door opens directly onto a staircase and you'll feel it instantly. There's a rush, a pressure, an odd sense of being pulled, like something is moving too fast. Most people chalk it up to poor layout or lack of warmth, but it's something deeper. In Feng Shui terms, the front door is known as the mouth of Kai, the main entry point where energy, luck, and opportunities flow into your home. The staircase, especially one directly aligned with that door, acts like a vertical slide. When they're placed face to face, That fresh, supportive energy doesn't settle. It gets sucked upward immediately or worse, flies right back out the door. The result, you feel like life keeps speeding past you. Money comes in and vanishes. Good news doesn't seem to stick. Relationships feel ungrounded. There's movement, yes, but no retention. And over time, that becomes emotional fatigue. We saw this in a townhouse in Chicago. A young couple had just bought their first home. Modern, efficient layout, clean lines, but from day one something felt off. He got a job offer, then it was withdrawn. She started a side business that gained traction and then completely stalled. Every time they made financial progress, an unexpected bill popped up. Their friends loved the home, but they admitted, "We never feel settled." It's like we're always halfway out the door. When we evaluated the space, it was clear. Their staircase sat directly in line with the front door. Every ounce of new energy that entered had one path, up and out. Nothing was circulating through the main living spaces. Nothing was grounding them. From a design standpoint, this layout is common in many American homes. It's convenient, linear, logical. But from an energy perspective, it's a fast exit funnel. Imagine pouring water into a bowl versus pouring it onto a ramp. The bowl holds. The ramp loses. Your front entrance should be a bowl, catching, holding, distributing energy throughout the home. A front-facing staircase turns it into a ramp, and everything you want to keep, money, focus, connection, rushes right through your fingers. Now here's the important part. This doesn't mean you need to rebuild your home. It means you need to intervene in how energy moves. The key is to slow, soften, and redirect that initial surge. In the Chicago townhouse, we placed a tall, leafy plant just to the side of the front door, not in the path, but near enough to create a visual pause. We added a textured rug at the entry to catch energy as it entered. Warm wall sconces were installed to guide the flow sideways into the living room instead of directly toward the stairs. The couple also hung a curved artwork, a metal spiral that guided the eye in a gentle, circular motion. And within weeks, things began to shift. The husband signed a new job contract. Her business landed its first bulk client. And they both reported a sense of calm we hadn't felt before. These adjustments aren't symbolic. They're directional. They work because our environments shape our nervous system. When energy rushes past you, your body reacts. Tight muscles, shallow breath, impulsive decision-making. When energy enters and settles, your body feels safe, and your life starts to align. That's why Feng Shui is not just about beauty. It's about flow. American homes often prioritize open sight lines, walk in, see the whole house. It's impressive, but it also means energy has no reason to linger. If you've ever walked into a house and felt like you had to do something, or go somewhere immediately, you felt this rush. A staircase directly facing the front door amplifies it. There's also a financial layer. Money, like energy, needs time to take root. A space that accelerates movement too quickly creates instability. You might see income rise, but saving becomes impossible. You may receive offers, but can't close the deal. This isn't about bad luck. It's about energy that can't pause long enough to support you. The space itself is rushing you out before you've had a chance to settle in. So what can you do? First, disrupt the direct line of movement. A tall plant, a screen, or even a narrow console table placed near the base of the stairs can create just enough resistance. Next, use visual cues to redirect flow. Hang a round mirror, lay a curved rug, or use lighting to guide the eye to the sides. Think of it like traffic calming. You're not stopping movement, just making it more intentional. And finally, bring in warmth, natural textures, soft tones, items that invite stillness. The front entrance is your invitation to energy. Make it a warm welcome, not a fast goodbye. We've tested this again and again, from loft apartments in New York to bungalows in Austin. When people make these changes, even subtly, their homes begin to hold energy differently. They feel more in control, more supported, less on edge. And that translates to real-life change, smoother conversations, more financial wins, fewer conflicts, because your environment either anchors your life or pushes it away. And a staircase facing your front door. That's one of the biggest energy leaks you never knew you had. So ask yourself this: when opportunity walks through your door, does your home invite it to stay or show it the stairs? Number 3, no handrail, no anchor for the climb. At first glance, it looks stunning. Sleek, minimal, modern. A floating staircase with no handrail, just steps suspended in air. It's the kind of design you see in luxury listings, glossy architecture magazines, or celebrity homes on Netflix. But while it makes for a great Instagram post, it sends a very different message to your nervous system and to the energy that tries to move upward through your life. Because without a handrail, there's no anchor, and a life without anchors feels like you're climbing blind. In American homes, especially those embracing ultra-modern aesthetics, handrails are often seen as clutter, something to remove, something that breaks the visual line. And yes, a rail-less staircase feels spacious and light, but that's exactly the problem. It feels light, but it lacks grounding. A staircase, energetically, is a life path. It's how you move forward, upward. It's the vertical thread of your house's energy, and by extension, your own growth. Take away the support, and that path becomes uncertain, not just for your body, but for your mind. We worked with a young designer in Lowe's Angels. Her home was her dream project. Clean concrete floors, glass panels, and a dramatic staircase floating in the center with no rails, just polished oak steps seemingly suspended in air. It was gorgeous. But she confessed something most people wouldn't expect. She couldn't focus. Her design firm was growing fast, but she constantly second-guessed herself. She felt mentally exhausted, even after good news. And she noticed a strange new fear. She'd become hesitant to make bold decisions. When we walked the house together, the staircase told the story. No edge, no guard, no visual guidance upward. Her brain and her body were reading it as a danger zone. Here's what most people overlook. We don't just walk with our legs, we walk with our senses. Every step you take, your body searches for reassurance. A wall, a rail. Something to say, you're safe here. Without that, you walk differently, you move hesitantly, and over time, that hesitancy creeps into everything else. You begin to second-guess your instincts, hold back your voice, shrink your moves. We're not talking about superstition. We're talking about subtle neurological feedback loops. Environments whisper things. A staircase without a handrail whispers, "You're on your own. No one's catching you." Now multiply that over years of living in such a space. It becomes part of your internal programming. We've seen it manifest as chronic self-doubt, recurring anxiety, or even tension between partners, especially when one person craves stability and the other craves aesthetic perfection. The house becomes a tug-of-war between the need to feel safe and the desire to look cutting edge. And the cost is often hidden. Creative burnout, financial mistakes, decisions made from fear instead of clarity. But here's the good news. This is fixable. You don't have to sacrifice beauty for energy. You just need to reintroduce the sense of structure. In the designer's home, we added a curved LED light along the edge of each step, thin, elegant, but visually guiding. We placed a tall vertical painting on the wall beside the staircase, one that subtly curved upward, giving the eye and the energy a path to follow. We added a long planter box at the base of the stairs, grounding the base visually and emotionally. Within 2 months, she launched a new product line. She told us, "I feel like I have my edge back." This is what Feng Shui does at its best. It doesn't change what's beautiful. It makes beauty work for you. Think about how you feel when you're hiking a steep trail. Even the most experienced hiker reaches for a tree branch or a railing when the slope gets rough. That's not weakness. That's human. Life is not always stable. So your home should give you stability where you need it most, on the climb. And this isn't just about physical safety. It's about subconscious support. Children growing up in a house with no rail may not feel the danger, but they may internalize the uncertainty. Older adults may not say anything, but their nervous system is on constant alert. Guests might admire it, but quietly feel off balance. Energy doesn't need drama to shift, it needs repetition. And a staircase with no handrail repeatedly says, "There's nothing to hold on to here." That message seeps in. If you're already living with this kind of design, don't worry. There are subtle ways to shift the message without compromising style. Consider thin cable railings, which add safety without visual bulk. Add upward lighting along the steps to create a directional glow. Use vertical artwork, natural wood textures, or even framed mirrors that reflect a stable path. These aren't aesthetic choices alone, they're energetic cues. They tell your body, your mind, and your money you're supported here. One couple in Scottsdale installed a handrail just 3 months after their daughter slipped near the top step. Not a bad fall, but enough to scare them. Within weeks, they reported better sleep, calmer mornings, and interestingly, more fluid communication with each other. As the wife put it, "I didn't realize how much I was holding my breath until I finally exhaled." That's what an anchored staircase does. It lets you exhale. It lets you rise without fear of falling. It gives your energy a guided climb instead of a free fall. And in a world that moves fast, where stability is a rare luxury, your home should be the place where you always have something to hold on to. So ask yourself this: does your staircase look beautiful, but leave you feeling alone on the way up? Number 4, the wrong final step, walking into death energy without knowing it. There's a detail in home design almost no one thinks about, until something starts to feel off. It's not your furniture, not your lighting, not your wall color. It's the number of steps in your staircase. Not the height, not the width, just the count. And if the final step lands in the wrong place energetically, everything above it, your bedroom, your office, your dreams, sits on shaky ground. This isn't philosophy, it's energetic structure. Because in Feng Shui, each step represents a stage of movement, and the pattern they follow is ancient, specific, and shockingly accurate. Birth, aging, sickness, death. 4 steps. Then it repeats, and if your last step lands on death, you're climbing unknowingly into decline. This pattern, birth 1, aging 2, sickness 3, death 4, isn't symbolic, it's vibrational. It mirrors the cycle of life, yes, but more importantly, it defines how energy feels as you ascend. That means the 5th step is back to birth, the 9th to birth again, and so on. If your staircase ends on a birth step, energy supports you. If it ends on death, that flow ends hard. And here's what most people miss: this matters more than what the stairs look like. We've seen stunning staircases, custom-built in multi-million-dollar homes, that end on step 16, landing right in death energy. And sure enough, the family living there kept facing unexpected endings. Deals falling apart, jobs suddenly lost, relationships quietly fading. No big disasters, just a constant sense that progress never stuck. Take the case of a family in North Carolina. Their home had a beautiful 2-story layout, open concept with a dark wood staircase curving gently to the upper floor. Everything about the design looked intentional, but they'd been living there for 3 years, and their experience told a different story. The husband's small business plateaued. Their teenage daughter battled chronic fatigue. The couple felt disconnected even though they weren't fighting. "It's like we live in parallel tracks," the wife said. "We're in motion but never meeting." When we measured the staircase, it had 16 steps, landing them exactly on death energy. Their entire upper floor was built on energetic decline. Here's where this becomes practical. The formula is simple, 4n+1. That means ideal staircases should have 5, 9, 13, 17 steps, landing on the birth step. But it's not about superstition or counting blindly. It's about where that last foot lands. Energy, like momentum, needs a supportive end point. Otherwise, it collapses. Imagine climbing stairs that lead to nothing, just a wall. Your body tenses, you feel misled. Your energy does the same thing when the staircase ends on death. The forward motion breaks, and that break doesn't just affect mood. It seeps into decisions, health, even relationships. We've seen couples who have grown apart start reconnecting just by shifting the final step their staircase ended on. The tricky part? American homes often ignore this principle entirely. Builders go by code, convenience, or aesthetic rhythm. An odd number of steps looks right. But odd doesn't mean aligned. In fact, one of the biggest Feng Shui myths in the West is that odd steps equals lucky. That's not true. What matters is the sequence, not the number. If you have 15 steps, you're still landing on sickness. You've just done it stylishly. Now here's where homeowners get stuck. But my staircase is already built. What can I do? Plenty. You don't need to rebuild. You just need to shift the finish. Think of the staircase like a song. The final note matters. If it's unresolved, you feel it. So resolve it. If you have 16 steps ending on death, add a soft platform at the top, like a riser or built-in mat. If you can't change the step count, use a thick runner carpet that visually shifts the ending point. Even a slight incline or added board at the top can energetically rebalance the finish. In one Seattle home, the owners added a low wooden box as a decor piece at the top step. Subtle, intentional, and enough to reroute the energy landing. Another option, use lighting. Install a warm, upward-facing light under the final step, symbolically lifting it into birth. Or frame the top of the stairs with something soft and alive, like a potted plant, a small table, even a family photo. These things tell energy. This is a place to begin again, not to end. What's more, if your home has multiple floors, you don't want every staircase ending on birth. Sounds odd, but too much of a good thing can overwhelm the space. Too much active energy creates emotional pressure. People feel rushed, agitated, unable to rest. That's why alternating stair ends, some on birth, some on aging, the stability phase, brings balance. Life isn't always about new beginnings. Sometimes we need a place to hold still. Design your stairs accordingly. At its core, this isn't about counting steps. It's about understanding how physical movement reflects life energy. The same way you feel the difference between walking into a messy room versus a clean one, your body feels the difference between climbing into support or into shutdown. You may not have words for it, but your results, your fatigue, your finances, your family's mood are speaking volumes. So the next time you climb your stairs, ask yourself this: where does the final step really take you? Up or out? Number 5, sharp turns, energy that can't breathe. Not all staircases rise in a clean line. In fact, many homes across the U.S., especially suburban or compact multi-level designs, Use L-shaped or switchback stairs to save space. They're practical, familiar, and often tucked into the side of a layout where they won't take up too much room. But here's what most people don't realize. Every time your staircase bends sharply, energy gets interrupted. It doesn't flow. It jerks, it hesitates. And when energy can't breathe, neither can you. A straight staircase allows momentum like a breath in motion. You walk, you rise, the energy follows you. But with sharp turns, especially right angles or U-shaped configurations, energy is forced to stop, change direction, and start again. That break in flow might seem harmless on a blueprint, but in real life it feels like stuckness, like plans always get delayed, like conversations never finish, like something invisible is constantly blocking the next step. We worked with a blended family in Sacramento who had just renovated their craftsman home. The renovation was beautiful, warm wood floors, open kitchen, spacious backyard. But they were struggling. The parents felt like the house never settled. The kids argued constantly. The couple noticed they were always running behind schedule, losing things, missing small but important details. Nothing catastrophic, just 100 little misfires. Their staircase was a tight L shape with a hard corner midway and no soft visual buffer. When we mapped the energy, it was clear. Every time someone went up or down, the energy flow fractured right at the corner. It wasn't just physical movement being interrupted. It was momentum in their lives. Feng Shui views energy, or Kai, much like blood in the human body. If you cut or block a vein, blood flow weakens. The system suffers. Same with air in your lungs. If the breath is interrupted, your body tenses. In the same way, sharp turns in a staircase act like energetic clots. And just like clots in the body, they cause slowdowns you can't see, but absolutely feel. Over time, this can show up as emotional tension, relationship breakdowns, repeated failures to launch in career, finance, or personal goals, or simply the feeling that your home is never truly calm. One of the most common side effects, repetitive stress. People living in homes with sharp-turn staircases often report mental fatigue that has no clear cause. They feel like they're always chasing something, time, clarity, connection, but never catching it. The Sacramento family described it as a house full of friction. And the more they tried to fix it with schedules, rules, or routines, the worse it felt, because they were trying to solve an energy problem with logic. Here's the solution. Soften the turn. That doesn't mean tearing out the staircase. It means guiding the energy through it. In that home, we added a curved wall sconce right at the corner, soft light to bend the energy. We hung a rounded piece of art with a gentle wave shape to visually ease the angle. And we placed a live plant with long flowing leaves in the turn, as if it were breathing the energy forward. Within a month, the father said he felt calmer walking upstairs. The kids were fighting less, and the whole house felt less on edge. Another powerful tool, mirrors used with intention. A well-placed mirror at a staircase turn can redirect energy without reflecting it back. Just don't place it in a way that bounces your image while climbing. That creates a subconscious sense of distortion or anxiety. Instead, use mirrors to open tight corners visually, creating a sense of expansion where the space physically compresses. Texture helps too. A textured wall, a vertical tapestry, or a soft color gradient at the turn can make the space feel less harsh. And in energy terms, softness invites flow. Think of it like water. When it meets a hard edge, it splashes. When it meets a curve, it glides. That's what you want for your staircase. A glide, not a splash. One couple in Maryland used a vertical fabric sculpture that hung down gently from the ceiling in their switchback staircase. It moved slightly with airflow, catching light and shifting shape throughout the day. It added nothing to the structure but everything to the feeling. It's like the tension broke, they told us. It feels easier to think here now. This isn't magic. It's design aligned with energy. Every corner in your home is a decision point, not just for walls, but for momentum. And sharp turns, especially in places of vertical transition, confuse that momentum. They say, stop, wait, turn back, which is fine in architecture, not so fine when you're trying to move forward in life. So if you live with a staircase that takes a hard turn, ask yourself, does that corner feel open or clogged? Do people move through it easily, or do they hesitate? And most importantly, what would it take to soften that space, not in structure, but in feeling? Because the truth is this, your home doesn't have to fight your energy. And when your staircase breathes, so do you. Number 6, open riser stairs, fortune slipping through the gaps. They look light, stylish, airy, floating. That's why open riser stairs are a favorite in modern homes across the US, especially in urban builds, loft-style apartments, and minimalist renovations. You see them everywhere from high-end condos in Seattle to weekend cabins in Colorado. Gaps between steps, no risers, just sleek lines and open space. But what no one tells you is this. When your stairs have no backing, your energy has no support. And when energy can't gather, fortune can't stay. In Feng Shui terms, stairs are more than functional. They're channels of movement. They direct the flow of energy from one level of your life to another. When stairs are solid, energy is held, carried, and guided. But with open risers, those empty gaps where the back of each step should be, energy leaks out like sand through a sieve. You still move forward, but what you carry, money, momentum, peace, can fall through before it ever reaches where you're going. We once worked with a tech consultant in Austin. She was brilliant. Her startup was gaining traction. She had just moved into a loft downtown, exposed brick, steel beams, and a beautiful floating staircase with no risers. At first, she loved the space. It felt inspiring, expansive. But within months, things started unraveling. Clients ghosted mid-project. Her inbox filled with missed opportunities. She started forgetting important meetings, missing payments. "I feel like my focus is falling apart," she said. When we evaluated her home, the energy leak was immediate. The staircase was the only access to her bedroom, office, and main storage. Yet energy had no container. Every time she climbed, her body moved up, but the energy supporting her goals slipped through the gaps. This isn't symbolic. It's experiential. People who live with open riser stairs often report scattered thinking, impulsive spending, and an inability to hold onto what they've earned. Money comes in but never accumulates. Ideas spark but don't finish. People visit but don't stay long. The home itself feels unfinished. Light, yes, but hollow. And in design, what feels visually open often feels energetically incomplete. There's a deeper layer, too, emotional security. Children raised in homes with open riser stairs sometimes develop low-grade anxiety, not because of actual danger, but because the subconscious doesn't see structure. The climb feels unsafe. Elders feel the same, even if they don't articulate it. Even pets hesitate. You've probably seen dogs freeze at the bottom of stairs that don't have backs. That's not stubbornness, that's spatial instinct. But here's the good news. Open risers don't have to become open wounds. You can have your modern staircase, and your energy too. The key is to close the gaps visually, symbolically, or structurally. In the Austin loft, we installed understep LED lighting with a soft amber hue. This created a light base for each step, an energetic cushion. We added a textured runner that ran the full length of the stairs, anchoring each step together. And most importantly, we added a tall plant at the foot of the staircase, rooted and full, to ground the energy before it ascended. Within 6 weeks, the consultant reported 3 new signed clients, fewer missed details, and her words, "Like my mind has a net now. I'm catching things before they fall." Other effective solutions include using transparent riser panels, glass, acrylic, or even thin wood slats to subtly enclose the space. You can also hang vertical artwork beneath the staircase to fill the void below, so the energy isn't visually falling through the frame. Rugs help, so do directional lights. Even something as simple as wrapping a soft LED strip underneath each step can guide the energy up with clarity and cohesion. But the most powerful shift, intention. Understand what the staircase represents. A passageway between levels, not just floors but phases of life. If your stairway lacks form, your progress might too. That doesn't mean your life will fall apart. It just means you'll have to work harder to hold things together. In Chicago, a family with 3 kids had open risers between the kitchen and bedrooms. The mother described it as beautiful but loud. The kids argued constantly. Homework never made it upstairs. There were spills, accidents, confusion. We added wooden backing to every other riser, not a full enclosure, but enough to break the whole pattern. The difference was instant. She said, "It's like the noise dropped. The energy feels contained." That's the word, contained. Because that's what your energy needs to grow. Not confinement, but containment. A space that says, "You're supported here, you're not falling through." So ask yourself this: when you climb your stairs, do you feel carried? Or do you feel like something's slipping away with every step? By now, you've probably started seeing your staircase differently. Not just as a set of steps, but as a pathway your energy walks every single day. Because here's the quiet truth most people never pause to realize. The way your stairs are designed directly affects how momentum, clarity, and luck move through your life. The breaks, the gaps, the direction, the final step, they all speak. They either tell energy to rise, settle, and support you, or they scatter it before it ever has a chance to stay. This isn't about superstition. It's about how space shapes experience. Neuroscience already confirms what Feng Shui has practiced for centuries. Your environment speaks to your nervous system. Sharp angles trigger alertness. Soft curves invite calm. Closed loops support retention. Open gaps invite loss. It's not magic, it's mechanics. Your house has a language, and stairs are one of its strongest verbs. And it's not just about energy. It's about how your home makes you feel. Do you feel grounded when you walk up, or slightly rushed, off balance, unanchored? Do you feel like every level of your home is connected, or like you're constantly shifting between unfinished chapters? These questions aren't poetic. They're practical, because the way energy moves through your space is the way your life moves through your day. You don't need a new house, you need a new lens, a way to see the details you've been stepping over for years. Because sometimes the smallest adjustments, adding light, softening a corner, anchoring a turn, can realign not just your space, but your path. And when your home begins to support you fully, it's not just the space that changes, it's how you show up in it. So the next time you climb the stairs, listen. Is your home lifting you with every step? Or is it asking, quietly, persistently, for something to shift?